Hey friends, what's up? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. A little while back, I asked you guys on the community tab of my YouTube channel, what is the worst experience, the worst reaction you've ever had while wearing a fragrance? What were you wearing? What happened? And you guys let me know some of your absolute worst reactions ever, which is what we're gonna be talking about here today. And each one of these lovely fragrances that you had a great reaction while wearing is going to be linked in the description if you want to check them out. As well, here's some codes for you. Feel free to pause the video if you want some codes for twistedlily.com, maxaroma.com, So Avant-Garde, or Lucky Scent. Let's get right into it with TRD Ferg 419. He regales us with his tale. A few years ago, I received Interlude Man from Amouage, the Blue Beast incense bomb, and decided to try it right away. I sprayed 3 to 4 times on my arm. At the same time, the dog was being led inside. He ran up, sniffed, and made contact with the freshly sprayed spot on my arm. He immediately started shaking his head and sneezing, running around and crashing into things, pawing at his nose. We got him settled and cleaned off, but I think he's scarred for life by the Blue Beast. Yeah, that's rough. You almost killed your dog. It's like animal abuse. Too powerful for dogs, not for your canine friends. That's what this should say. Although I guess it's better that happened to a dog than a person. Could you imagine that? Imagine that for a second. You go into the office or a date or something, somebody catches a big whiff of your freshly sprayed Interlude Man, and they immediately start shaking, convulsing, lose control of their body, and run full speed into the wall, knocking themselves unconscious. And you're just standing there like, I thought it smelled good. I don't know what happened. So, I mean, you know, it could have been worse. Then we got one from J Prinz, who says, went to work wearing YSL EDP. Hadn't worn it in a long time. I was giving it another chance. And I immediately went up to a coworker who said, oh man, someone has too much cologne, and turned on a fan. It was only one spray. There are some other guys that we'll get to in a second who had reactions where maybe they had on a little bit too much, but you, one singular spray of Y, and they're gonna make a big deal about it? Come on, that's ridiculous, man. That makes no sense. Although, to be fair, I have worked with people in the past who, if they could smell anything, and I am talking literally anything, they would make a big deal out of it. Just like haggard old ladies who had nothing going on and they were about that drama. I mean, it would legitimately get to the point where like somebody would put on lotion that was lightly scented. They would be like walking by somebody as they were applying the lotion at their own desk, and they would be like, is that cucumber scented lotion? How dare you? Just immediately go to management, start complaining. So yeah, one spray of YADP, that person's a hag. I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's a dude or a dudette. Hag. I don't even care if they're young. Hag. Crash Net is up next, who says, Sauvage Elixir. I went to a brewery to enjoy some top-notch craft brews. It makes sense. Somebody being into fragrances and being into top-notch craft brews, it makes sense. A lot of overlap there, I feel like. A young woman 2 tables from me got up and sat on the opposite side of the room. I heard her say, I just can't take it anymore. Granted, I was wearing 6 sprays. Okay, so 6 sprays of Sauvage Elixir. Yeah, that's got more push to it than 1 spray of YDP. Apparently, this young lady who was enjoying her fine craft brews couldn't handle your fantastic smelling Dior Sauvage Elixir. I will say, you know, depending on how it was, like if it was really hot and stuffy in there, then sure, I get it. And yeah, for sure, some people are gonna be more sensitive to fragrances in general. I do think you should not just blast everything that you own on as heavy as possible. A lot of times that's gonna give you negative reactions, not positive ones. The thought process being, well, they'll definitely smell me. Yes, they will. And they could also absolutely hate you for that. Flex Luthor says, Montale, Starry Night. I put on 3 sprays in my apartment, and everyone told me to never spray it again and stand outside until it calmed down a bit. LOL. That's actually an LOL of sadness. That's not a happy LOL. You were in your own apartment. You were thinking to yourself, I'm gonna blast this Starry Night. People are gonna ask me what it is and talk about how exquisite my taste is, and instead they banished you outside from your own residence. Yeah, I don't care that you live here. You go stand outside. Nobody wants to smell you, flex. Fumes, says Bentley for Men, intense. My job has me visiting bars and restaurants all day. When I walked in, the kitchen help said they couldn't breathe. Not off to a good start. They said something smelled like Raid bug spray. They had thought somebody was spraying for ants. At some point, they realized it was me. Since then, I've realized there's a similarity between Bentley for Men Intense and Insecticide. I can't shake that comparison. Yeah, whenever you do draw a comparison between a fragrance that you wear and something else that's a very bad thing, it can be hard or impossible to get that out of your mind. So then every time you smell the fragrance, you're like, oh, no, I'm smelling the thing. I no longer like it. It can be a terrible thing, just absolutely ruin something for you. And I myself have been in similar situations, not exactly the same as that, but situations where you're wearing a fragrance and you're thinking to yourself, man, I smell awesome. Sprayed a good amount of this on, I'm catching whiffs. Oh, I'm not wearing Dior Sauvage, no. Too common for me, friend. And then you go somewhere and people start making comments where you realize, oh, that's me they're talking about. Oh, ooh. Suddenly, your confidence not so high. And it's not great when they find out that it's you, because eventually people start to hone in on that scent. Like, where's it coming from? It's you. Then you're like, ah! Greg Schloss. Taking us back in time, 1997. I had a bottle of JOOP, pink/purple color. I had drank a lot the night before, 20 years old. I put some on and it nauseated me to the point of throwing up. Yeah, that's about right. I could not stop and I had to shower to get rid of the smell. I realized the drinking was the main problem. Also, that's good, you know? But after that, I could never do that stuff again. It just brought back that awful day. Speaking about drinking, you can make some really, really bad decisions while drinking, obviously, but you can also make some very bad connections in your brain when it comes to drinking. So if you smell something that makes you violently sick because you're hungover or drunk, then in the future, when you're sober, it's probably not gonna smell quite so nice to you anymore. Of all the fragrances you could have gone with, you picked probably the worst one on the planet, at that time anyway, to spray on while being nauseated. So good job, Greg. Nah, I agree with you. AE777. Not me personally wearing the fragrance, but myself and my girlfriend went to the Tom Ford counter to smell tobacco vanille, tobacco oud, and oud wood. Long story short, she said all were disgusting and loudly said, "That's the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. I'm going to be sick," in front of the Tom Ford worker. It's pretty harsh. That is just like unfiltered. I've since bought clones of all three, and she now likes them. LOL. That is what we call Stockholm Syndrome. Nice. To be fair though, tobacco oud, my wife hated tobacco oud. When I first got it, she thought it was one of the worst fragrances I had. Skip forward a number of years and now she likes it. Sometimes you just gotta wear the fragrance multiple times. Eventually you'll come around to like it, trust me. Truly though. Tobacco vanille, worst things you've ever smelled in your life? How perfect is your life that the worst thing you've ever smelled is one of the best smelling fragrances of all time? What? I know taste is subjective, but come on, how you gonna hate on this? I mean, tobacco oud, I could see, you know, somebody who's not smelled a lot of things, they smell tobacco oud and it's gotta be a little funky to them, but come on. Joseph Manning's up next, who says, I was wearing Sauvage and an all-natural healthy person came up and said, "Oh, Joseph, you stink of chemicals." Next time I saw that person, I wore Sauvage Elixir. Joseph Manning woke up and chose violence. And yeah, I'm here for it. Good job, Joseph. Way to show that all-natural, healthy person, which I'm assuming you just mean somebody who eats healthy and probably goes outdoors a lot? Or maybe it's somebody who eats nothing but quinoa, I don't know, goes to Burning Man? All-natural, healthy person. But you fought fire with fire, and for that, I applaud you. Sauvage, not strong enough for you? Let me introduce you to Sauvage Elixir. Up next, we got one from Dan Trafford, who says, this one straight up broke my heart. Starting us off, very intense here, a lot of emotions. Fragrance was Daddy by Aaron Terrence Hughes. I haven't actually smelled it. I was on site with an apprentice. As I was packing up to leave, a staff member asked which one of us had doused ourselves in Lynx, the UK brand name for Axe. I couldn't believe it. Clearly, she has no taste, and admittedly, Understanding the strength of that fragrance is a learning curve, but I still lose sleep over it. That's really funny. Just imagining you like a year and a half later and you're trying to sleep and you just, it wasn't Lynx. It was Terrence Hughes. It was high class. It was quality. And I also like how you're clearly like still offended by it much later. Sorry that happened to you, Dan. Hopefully you can put it behind you. You can get those long hours of sleep back. You can get some nice REM sleep. Hopefully you don't wake up in the middle of the night having, you know, night terrors about this happening. That is the ultimate burn though, when somebody comes up to you and they're like, what do you wear, an Axe/Lynx? Just want to friggin' smash the fragrance bottle, stick it into their neck. Don't do that. I'm not serious. Like that is, don't do that. I'm gonna give you one extra one, so we got 2 more to go. Faraz Khan is up next. Compliments I have gotten while wearing Jazz Club. Compliments I've gotten, compliments. Did you take up smoking? You smell like a night I want to forget. That is brutal. Just because of the underlying venom there. You smell like a night I want to forget. Comparing you to something they want to forget. Just like, ooh, ouch. Ah, my soul. Wow, I've never smelled a hangover before. This is from one wearing. Holy crap. That sounds like a great day. Sounds like you were just going about your day, going along, and people were just hurling insults at you as you go through the office or down the street or something. Just everybody burning you left and right. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Especially with fragrance like that. I mean, that's actually a really nice fragrance. What's going on here? Sorry that happened to you, Faraz. That's just make new friends. If those were your friends, they're jerks. Sean Hill, last one. Bought Dolce & Gabbana K Eau de Toilette for a steal and threw on half a dozen sprays before work because I had heard it was kind of weak. A coworker walks up to me, fanning the air in front of his nose and says, "Whatever you have on stinks like dumpster juice. I don't think it's that bad, so whenever I wear it heavily, despite him." Multiple of you guys apparently fight fire with fire. You don't take these lying down. Good on you. I hope you wear it heavily and then walk right by him. You know, just post up right next to him every single time. It's pretty rough though. Stinks like dumpster juice. Man, I don't know what dumpster juice he's been smelling. Because, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of K Eau de Toilette, but I would obviously wear this over dumpster juice. I don't think they have that much in common. Obviously, he was making a funny, but it wasn't very accurate. And once again, 6 sprays of K Eau de Toilette having people come out busting on others. Imagine if you'd done like 30 sprays. There we go, some of the worst reactions that you guys have had. Thank you everybody that submitted these. Thank you everybody who upvoted others' posts. Those are pretty fun. We'll do another one of these before too long. I'll start a new community post about more bad reactions because so many get buried down. So if you left one on this, don't leave it on the next one. That way other people's stuff can get upvoted. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.